Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today doing a player spotlight on wide receiver Allen Robinson. Just putting the light, talking about what he did lately and giving him a label going forward. So, Allen Robinson, of course, first year with the Bears, coming over from Jacksonville Jaguars, acquired in free agency. Decent money. I wouldn't say big time receiver because he was coming off the injury, of course. Played 13 games for us, so most of the season. But as far as what he's done for us lately, so we go to the stats. Like to get that out the way first. He had 55 receptions, 754 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So, led our team in yards with 754, which was barely over Tariq Cohen, who was number 2. And Tariq Cohen led in receptions, and it was almost 20 more than Allen Robinson had. And then, of course, 4 touchdowns. That's not a whole lot. So, again, that's 13 games. If you extrapolate those averages out, you're still talking about less than 75 catches. You're talking about less than 1,000 yards receiving. And you're only talking about 1 more touchdown. So, of course, that's just stats. We don't know how it would play out. But anyway, for me, what Allen Robinson gave us this year was kind of exactly what we needed. We didn't need a number 1 receiver, alpha dog, because, again, I've talked about it many times. A lot of the yard and the stats are spread out between the receiving core, and I like to keep it that way. I don't need us feeding the ball to one dominant receiver where people know where we're going. I like everybody to be a viable option. So we didn't need an alpha dog, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, D Hops type. What we needed was more of a 1B, Juju Smith-Schuster type. And so that's a guy that in the tough situation, they can go up and make the contested catch. And, we can count on them more or less to be the safety blanket. Even though that's supposed to be the tight end, we talked about Burden. I would say more so it's actually probably Tariq Cohen, but in the receiving core, it's Allen Robinson. So I think that's what he provided us, Again, he actually had good separation. I'm not going to say he didn't. He had more separation than I thought he did, or he would as far as speed down the field. But more times than not, he gave us that 50-50 ball competitiveness. We seen him make some tough catches, going up there, making the tough catch, like I said, to move the chains, or, when we needed to get down the field in a short time situation. And so that, and then good yak yards. I mean, as far as the slants, he was pretty big there. And so I just think overall, like I said, it gives you a lot of the attributes that you would want out of a number 1 receiver. He just doesn't dominate, I would say, the secondary like alpha dog, and he doesn't dominate the possession of the receiving stats like an alpha dog. And I think we're good with that. We need a guy, again, like I said, that can threaten somebody, that at least, they're going to put their lockdown corner, if they have one, they're going to put them on Allen Robinson to at least take away some attention. So it's not like they're going to rotate coverage and do all these things to Allen Robinson, but he's going to command enough attention where that's going to loosen up guys like Anthony Miller or Trey Burton over the middle to do different things, and of course Tariq Cohen. So I think he complements us well. You definitely want to see him healthy, but 13 games, coming off that major injury, I think was perfectly fine. I think he showed that he's still explosive, still has really great ball skills. And I said some surprising speed sometimes as well. He's not going to burn, the top off of coverage, but in a one-on-one situation, if a guy's in physical enough, Allen Robinson can stack him down the field with those long strides. So I like everything that he showed us in year 1. And I'm okay. Honestly, I'm okay with the stats. I know some people might want to see more, but I'm all right. I mean, overall as an offense, we want to score more. We weren't, we're pretty good points wise of course, with the defense and what they did. But as far as like our actual offense, we all want to see it become a little more prolific. So that would mean more touchdowns for everybody, not just him. I don't think it's anything Allen Robinson is missing that, makes him miss out on those touchdowns. It's all really up to, number 10 to do that. So I like that. So going forward, again, I really just need to see a repeat of what he did this year and what he was able to do in the role he was able to fill. Hopefully it's 16 games. But we do got a lot of depth at receiver. But like I said, 16 games would be nice. And I think he just has to continue on with what he showed us. As far as a label, I'm giving him a starter. I don't necessarily think he's a core player. Again, we have a lot of depth at receiver. Now, I don't think there's anybody that can step in when Allen Robinson isn't there and command as much attention as he does. So Taylor Gabriel, Anthony Miller, as good as they are, Javon Wims, the rookie, really, anybody. I don't think any of them are going to step out on the edge and have, Darius Slay or Jair Alexander or Xavier Rhodes worried about it. I think they'll be able to work with each other as a core and still be able to function. But I don't think anybody's lining up on the island and commanding attention like Allen Robinson. However, I don't think he's core to our offense because, as I said before, we just have a lot of pieces that we could spread it out to, especially Nagy's very creative enough. And I think adding Montgomery allows Tariq Cohen to be a wild card, but also adding White also as another wild card. So we could do a lot of different things to make up for the absence of Allen Robinson, which we've seen. And so, again, definitely a starter, hands down, but I don't think he's a core piece. Yeah, so that's it for me. But yeah, let me know what you think about Allen Robinson in the comment section. Get the conversation started. Check out the Patreon page in the description if you want to possibly consider supporting the channel. Share it around. Like I said, thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.